What if I told you that walking just 2 miles a day could be the single most underrated weight loss strategy that you've never taken seriously? We've been sold this idea that weight loss requires intense cardio, expensive gym memberships, or cutting out every single thing you love to eat. But what if that's not entirely true? What if the real shift happens when you just walk? Today, I'll show you a side of weight loss no one talks about. Not the hardcore workouts, not the crash diets, but something more natural, more human, and more sustainable. Because here's the thing, we live in a world where more is better. Like more reps, more sweat, more pain. That's what we're told is necessary for results. And what about walking? It's labeled as too easy, too slow, or just for the elder peoples. But here's where it gets interesting. Most people quit fitness not because they lack motivation, but because the plan was too unrealistic to begin with. They push themselves too hard. They hate every second of it. And eventually, they stop. Walking, on the other hand, is gentle. It doesn't spike your stress hormones. It doesn't destroy your joints. And slowly, day by day, it begins to change your body and your mind. Now let's get into the science. When you walk 2 miles a day, which takes about 30 to 40 minutes, a few key things start happening. First, your body taps into fat as a fuel source, especially when walking at a steady pace. Second, your insulin sensitivity improves, helping you store less fat from the food you eat. And third, your cortisol levels lower, and that means less belly fat and better sleep. But the magic isn't just physical, it's emotional. Walking calms the mind. It gives you a routine. It gives you time with yourself. And that's something most people don't realize they need until they start. Now let's talk about mindset. Most people try to lose weight from a place of punishment, like this. But in walking, it doesn't punish you. It doesn't shame you. It only just rewards you. You begin to enjoy the process. You crave the silence, the movement, the freedom. It becomes less about the number on the scale and more about showing up for yourself each day. And ironically, that's when the weight starts coming off. Because you're no longer in a state of stress. You're in flow. And flow burns fat better than any anxiety-driven routine ever could. Meet Sarah. She started walking 2 miles every evening after work. She didn't change her diet drastically. She just walked. In 3 months, she lost 14 pounds. But more importantly, she stopped binge eating. She felt in control. Or meet Josh, who is 42 years old, used to be 260 pounds. He was told to start running, but he couldn't even jog for 60 seconds. He felt embarrassed until someone told him to just walk. Today, he's down 53 pounds, and he still hasn't stepped into a gym. These stories are not one-off miracles. They're happening quietly, all over the world. The only difference is, no one's marketing walking. It's free. You don't need gear. You don't need a subscription. It's too simple to sell, so nobody promotes it. By the way, I have generated a guide that gives some effective tips to lose weight even faster, and the good part is, it's free. The link is in the description. Now, here's the irony. Walking 2 miles burns roughly 150 to 250 calories, depending on your weight and pace. Do that 5 times a week, and you're burning up to 1,000 extra calories. Add slight diet awareness to that, and now you're in a calorie deficit, without ever stepping foot on a treadmill. Now compare that to someone who joins the gym, pushes too hard, gets sore, and quits in 10 days. Who's really winning? Walking may be slower, yes, but it's consistent. And consistency is the most powerful form of discipline. Most people say that, I don't have time. But walking 2 miles only takes around 35 minutes. You can break it into 2 one-mile walks, one in the morning, one in the evening. You can walk while you take calls. You can walk your dog. You can walk with your kid in the stroller. The truth is, we don't lack time. We lack structure. Walking gives your day structure, a beginning, a reset, a close. Here's some benefits you will get by just walking. First, your digestion improves because walking after meals helps regulate blood sugar. Second, your sleep gets deeper. Your dreams become clearer. Third, your creativity flows. Your thoughts become sharper. And fourth, your posture improves. You start standing taller, not just physically, but emotionally. Walking creates momentum, and momentum bleeds into other areas of life. You eat better, think clearer, and start believing in your own effort again. Here's something no one warns you about, that is, the change. Not what you think, The change is you start losing weight. You feel good. Then, one day, nothing. No change in the scale. No difference in the mirror. And doubt creeps in. But this is where walking has a secret edge. Unlike intense workouts that drain you or leave you sore, walking is something you can keep doing through the change. Because walking isn't a short-term fix. It's a lifestyle tool. You're still burning calories. You're still reducing inflammation. You're still staying active without burnout. Most people quit right before they start seeing results. But if you just keep walking, that change becomes a stepping stone, not a wall. Now, let's be real. Walking 2 miles a day can cause fat loss on its own. But when you pair it with just a bit of mindful eating, everything speeds up. And no, we're not talking about counting every calorie or eliminating everything fun. It can be as simple as swapping soda for water, eating your meals slowly and without screens, not eating when you're already full, choosing whole foods 80% of the time. Think of it like this: walking creates a fire. Food is the fuel. And you want clean, steady-burning fuel, not cheap sparks that burn out and leave you hungrier. And by that, one of the biggest mental traps is believing that if you can't do everything perfectly, it's not worth doing at all. For example, if you miss one day walk, you think that it ruined your progress. But you haven't. Because you're human. Life will happen. You'll miss days. You'll feel tired. And some days, you might only walk half a mile. And that's okay. What matters is your return rate, not your perfection rate. Walking allows you to mess up and still move forward. You don't need to restart. You just pick up where you left off. That's a rare gift in the world of fitness. Now, let's talk brain chemistry for a minute. When you walk, especially outdoors, your brain releases dopamine, but in a slow, steady stream. Not like the quick hit from junk food or social media, but a grounded, lasting satisfaction. That is the feeling you get after a good walk. And that's your nervous system resetting. It's pulling you out of survival mode and into clarity. It's reducing cortisol, increasing serotonin, and aligning your mind with your body. This is why walking becomes addicting, not because it's intense, but because it brings you back to yourself. Let's make this real. Here's how to start walking 2 miles a day and stick with it for 30 days. For week 1, walk just 1 mile per day. Focus on showing up, not speed. For week 2, move up to 1.5 miles. Add music, a podcast, or silence, your choice. For week 3, now go for 2 miles. Try different routes. Make it enjoyable. For week 4, maintain 2 miles daily and notice how different your body feels. Your mood, your sleep, your skin. If you need rest, take a day off. But always come back the next day. And by the end of 30 days, you won't just have walked miles. You'll have created momentum. You've probably tried so many things, like keto, HIIT, juice cleanses, fasting, and maybe none of them worked. Or they worked for a while, then stopped. But here's why walking is different. It's not a punishment. It doesn't hijack your metabolism. It doesn't force you to give up joy. It's quiet, sustainable, honest. And in a world that's always rushing, walking is a rebellion, a return to something real. This isn't a trick. It's not trendy. It's not going viral. It's something our ancestors did daily. Something your body is built for. You don't need to transform overnight. Just take the next step. If you're tired of starting over, if you're done punishing yourself, if you want to trust your body again, then walk. Not just to burn calories, not just to lose fat, but to prove to yourself that you're still in control. You can reclaim your health, one step at a time. You don't need permission, or approval, or a gym. You just need the courage to start.